with Border Connect so that asset-based companies can file ACE and ACI manifests all within Revenova. This will make the cross-border process intuitive and super easy. In the TMS, I've built a trip plan, and you can see I've already got the tractor, driver, and load associated. This load is starting or picking up in Canada, and then it is delivering in Wisconsin. Go Packers. We've added a trailer and a seal number, and then once I save this trip plan, you'll see on the leg that has the cross-border, this manifest builder icon renders. This will open the builder, and as you can see, all the information that was previously entered on the trip plan as well as on the load and the underlining records were carried over. So the customs port was what was set on the trip plan leg, as well as the arrival date and the arrival time. This can all be adjusted as needed. And then if I scroll down, we have the different records that are required by the governments in order to submit the manifest. So we've got the truck or the tractor, we've got driver details, trailer details, as well as load and line item information. There's also parties and passengers. Passengers would allow you to submit, for example, if you have a driver that's being trained and there's another person in the cab with him while he's crossing the border, you would be able to submit that here. So I'll go ahead and add a contact to give you an idea. You can see since it was an unsaved change, it's highlighted here in green. And then parties will allow you to submit additional accounts or companies that you want to be aware of the manifest. So for example, in ACE, if you have multiple stops for delivery, the consignee will be submitted as the consignee, and then any additional stops will be submitted as deliver to or ship to parties. So scrolling up, I'm going to go ahead and save this manifest. You'll see that the trip number was automatically generated. This is going to be a unique number that we will send to Border Connect and then on to the border. So this is going to be a very important field to keep note of. And then scrolling down to the load section. So this shipment type field is going to allow you to define the exact type of shipment. So if I go ahead and select PAPS, you can see that the fields rendered changed, and this is because those are the fields that are going to be required in order to submit that type of shipment to the U.S. or Canadian border. So if I click on ACE Inbound, you'll see that there's quite a few more required fields, and this is because the border will require that you send an inbound type, an inbound number, and so forth. So I'm going to go ahead and select PAPS because this is going to be the most common type of shipment for ACE. The PAPS number is rendered here, and you can see it was preset with the SCAC code associated with the carrier. Then we also allow you to type in the PAPS number. So if you're using a PAPS sticker booklet, you're able to make sure that the stickers that you're associating with the load is going to be it matches the PAPS number that you submit to the border. If you're not using the stickers, you can go ahead and select this magic wand icon, which will generate a unique PAPS number that will be submitted. So I'll go ahead and scroll back up to the top. I'll hit save, and I'm going to go ahead and validate this with Border Connect. So what that means by pressing validate is we're sending this to Border Connect and Border Connect only. So they'll go through the validation process on their side and make sure that all of the fields that we've sent are accurate and that all of the required information is included. If there's anything missing or we've provided, say for example, a VIN number that doesn't match and it's too long, they'll submit an error back so that you're able to see exactly what needs to be changed before submitting this to the border. So when I hit the validate, you can also see that a Border Connect transaction was created. It has an action of validate because that's the button that I pressed, and then a status of pending. When we receive a response back from Border Connect, it'll either be it'll either be successful or an error. So I'll go ahead and hit refresh, and you can see that I received an error back. The overall manifest status is now invalidated because Border Connect was not able to validate this because of the error. You'll see at the bottom here, there's this current errors and it's in red text, and this is exactly what needs to be changed on the manifest. This will show all of the errors, so it won't just be one, it would show you all, one to many if there's any additional errors that need to be adjusted. So for this one, the license plate number for the truck was left off. So I'll go ahead and add that here and then hit save and then resubmit it. So you can see that a second Border Connect transaction was created with that same action as validate and a status again of pending. So I hit refresh and you can see that Border Connect responded and a status of success is now shown, and the overall manifest status is validated. This means that they were able to validate it and everything looked good. We also have the ability to send, which means you would be sending it directly to Border Connect, who would then send it on to the customs agency. The validation would still occur, so you would still receive any response or errors back, and you could adjust and resend as needed. Once it's sent, you would then update it, so you would make the changes that are required. And then we also have this red revoke button, which would be deleting it from Border Connect system as well as the custom agency system. All right, clicking on the Documents tab, we have this pick list here for document type. So depending on the direction, so if it's ACE or ACI, these pick list values will change. So I'll go ahead and submit the ACE detailed version and hit submit. This is going to create another Border Connect transaction because we've just requested this via their API. They'll respond with the detailed cover sheet. So I'll go ahead and hit refresh. And you can see that the document is rendered here in the file viewer. So I'll go ahead and open this. This is the detailed version of the ACE cover sheet. And you can see it has a lot of details about the truck, trailer, and the shipments. We also have the ability to request the kind of more standard skimmed down version of the cover sheet. And then we have the PAPS cover sheet, which would be specific to each shipment or load, and that's generated within Revenova. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is generate some responses in Border Connect system so that you can see what it would look like when we get back responses from the border or via Border Connect. So I'll go ahead and enter in my trip number. And this would not need to be something that you guys handle once you're using the integration. Again, this would happen automatically via the API. This is just to give you an idea. So I'm generating a fake ACE response. So I'm going to overall accept the trip. And then I'm going to generate a second one to give a shipment level update. So you can see I'm including the entry number. So if the border responds and they provide an entry number, that will be received and we'll parse that information into Revenova. And I'll queue another outbound response. And then when I hop back into the Manifest Manager and hit refresh, you can see that I received a success message. And I'll hit refresh one more time. And we should receive that second response. So you can see underneath there's this ACE notifications. And when I drop down, it shows the entry is now on file by customs. And when I scroll down, it also shows that entry number there. If I go down to the individual load, you'll also see that the entry number is rendered and that this accepted checkbox is true. If I hop back into Border Connect's UI, I'm going to do another shipment update, and this time I'm going to mimic that it was released. So I'll queue that outbound. Again, this is not going to be something you would need to do in the API. This will all happen automatically. So I will refresh this eManifest, and you can see that the response came in. There's now another ACE notification showing that it's entered and released. And then if I scroll down, the released checkbox is now true. To give you an idea of what this looks like for ACI, instead of having an ACE notification, it will now show RNS notification. For this example, I built a load that was in a trip plan. So there was one carrier load with 3 separate customer loads. Those are all broken out, so each load or shipment is going to have its own status as well as transaction number. If I scroll down to the load section, you'll see again that each load is broken down and that each has its own entry number as well as accepted and released checkboxes. Okay, the last bit of the UI that I want to show you today is the Manifest Manager. So this is going to be your one-stop shop for managing all of the eManifests that are currently needing attention. So a couple things that we did is you can search in the search bar by manifest. So if you have a specific manifest that you're looking for, you can search by that, as well as trip number. So go ahead and enter that, and then as well as trip plan. And you can see it pulls back that specific manifest. We've also added the ability to select specific statuses. So for example, if you want to look at your rejected and maybe your invalidated, you can see which ones are kind of in a needing immediate attention status. So these are the ones that need the most help and you need to action them as soon as possible. And you're also able to sort by this arrival date. So if you want to look at your ones that are the driver's on his way to the border and he's shortly arriving, you'd be able to sort by that and see which ones are most crucial. The last piece is these little quick actions here. So if I select a specific manifest and click the edit button, it'll open that manifest builder UI, so you're able to make any changes that you might need, as well as this document button here, which will open let me grab a good one that has some documents. So this now shows those cover sheets there right for you. All right, and then one last bit of UI, I lied to you earlier. Okay, so on the manifest builder, on the individual pieces, so for truck, driver, trailer, and loads, we created field sets that allow you to select which fields you want to be shown in the builder. So for example, we've got VIN and status number. When I hop back on the manifest builder and I look at the truck, you can see that those fields correspond, as well as driver. If I look at which fields are shown here, you can see that that'll correspond to the field set for the driver manifest builder. This will give you the ultimate flexibility, so you're able to decide what you want your users to see and make sure that it's right at their fingertips so they don't have to leave the manifest builder when they're submitting days. We've also added this go to driver record link, which opens up a new tab, which will pull up the actual driver's record. And then if you scroll down to the travel credentials, this is a new object that we've added that allows you to enter the different documents that are required by the border to be submitted. So if your driver's fast card approved, you would enter a travel credential for this fast card, as well as his CDL and his passport and so on. That is our integration with Border Connect.